Hi everyone, my name is Phyllis and I'm the owner of Mad Moody Quilting Fabrics. Last week we started a tutorial on the block-lock triangle and a square rulers, and I showed you how the rulers worked. And this week we're going to start sewing our little triangles in the square blocks together. Okay, this is the quilt that we're working on, and these are the rulers. Hold on. These are the rulers that we're using. Okay, so there's 2 cutting rulers and your squaring up ruler. Last week I showed you how these cutting rulers worked. This week I'm going to show you how this works and how to sew these pieces together. Let me switch over to the above camera, and I'm just going to put myself up in the corner. Now these are the pieces that we cut. This is the triangle ruler, and this one is the one side and then the other side. Okay, now if you want to know exactly how these rulers work, go back to last week. I will put the link to that video down below for you. But yes, that's what we're gonna do. Now I'm going to explain to you how these go together. We're going to sew one side first, and then we're going to iron those and sew the other side. Let me just get rid of this board because I don't think we need it right now. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so here we are. And we're going to go ahead and sew these 2 together. Now I'm just going to get this out, and I'm just going to keep these all out to the side over here out of our way. And this is what we're going to sew together. I want to sew this one to this one first. And the first thing you're going to do is, you see how this has a notch here, and then this has the point completely cut off. Well, those 2 notches, or those 2 sides, will line up, and you want to line them up. You don't need to worry about this lining up or if it comes out. Don't forget, we're squaring these up after. So now I'm going to go to the sewing machine. Just give me a second here. And I want to put, there we go. So I'm just going to go over to the sewing machine, and we're going to get this sewn, okay? Oh, don't tell me this got moved. It's very possible. I want to make sure that this stays lined up. We're going to sew this side together. And there we go. I'm just going to slow that down a little bit. All right, now I'm going to come back to the above camera, and I'm going to take that off, flip it to there. All right, so some of you who have been following me might be noticing a bit of change with the technology and the cameras. I now have 4 cameras. So I have above camera, I have a face camera, I've got another face camera for the sewing machine, and then I have another camera that's directly on the sewing machine. So yeah, there's quite a few cameras going around. We've changed the switch setup. I'm using a laptop now and not just the switch, even though everything is switched into the everything is plugged into the switch, but I'm using the app on the computer so I can have a better picture in a square, like a picture in a picture for you and everything. So it's just more technology. So I'm just, my iron's now heated up, and I'm just going to go and iron this. You want to iron in between before you put the other side down, because you want to make sure that your seam allowance goes away from the triangle. So you want to iron, you don't want to iron your seam allowance this way. You want to iron it towards this piece, okay, away from the center triangle, okay? And I'll explain, you'll see later why we want to iron in that direction. So again, we're going to take this piece and we're going to make sure that these blunt corners down here are lined up. And you might see that this comes off more like a bit further, and that's okay because we're taking a 1/4 inch seam allowance and we want to make sure, but this is the important part down here. We want to make sure that down here it lines up. It lines up nicely down here. Even if we're squaring up, we want to make sure that we line up nicely. Let me flip back to the there we go. Back to the sewing machine. And I'm using a 1/4 inch foot on my Janome. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way so you can see. And there we go. And now I'm going to flip back to the above camera, put myself back up in the corner, and yeah. This is the first time I'm using the whole new setup for the filming, and it's a little awkward, but that's okay. So there's the first block put together. Now I'm going to, I'm just going to pop that over there. Now I'm going to show you how to square these up. We're going to take the squaring ruler. Now there's these, I think you can see them. There's these channels and they're kind of etched, they're cut out. These channels are cut out and they line up right in the, right over the seam allowance, and see it's locked in, it doesn't move, and that's the reason why we want to iron away from the center square, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and get this locked in, and we're going to just, and I like to use my turning table or turning mat, and this way I cut 2 sides. I turn the mat, I don't lift the ruler, I don't lift the fabric, and then I come back in and it's all lined up nicely and I can cut, and there you are. It's all perfectly done. Let me show you that again. This one needs to be trimmed down. Turn the mat. Look how fast it is to trim. Let me show you another one quickly. Now, when you sew these together, you can chain sew all the one sides and then iron all that side and then go back and chain sew all the other ones and then just spend time trimming them down. And there we are. So next week, I am going to have to show you how all these blocks come together into a little quilt. So we'll see you next week. Happy quilting, and bye.